Good afternoon. In compliance with Chapter 551 of the Texas Government Code, I call to order a special meeting of the Board of Trustees of the Austin Independent School District for Monday, June 13, 2022 at 5:09 p.m. A quorum of the board are physically present at AISD's central office to conduct this meeting. Board meetings are open to the public based on space availability to ensure social distancing and the health and safety of our community and staff. This meeting is streaming live on AISD TV and Apple TV. It is also being broadcast on cable channel 22 through Spectrum Grande and on channel 99 through AT&T Uverse. Closed captioning in English is available on these platforms for individuals who are deaf or hard of hearing. And to our audience tuning in remotely and here in person, welcome and thank you for joining us. We will move to the approval of the agenda. Trustee Boswell, do you have a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Is there
a second?
Second.
Having a motion by Trustee Boswell and a second by Trustee Anderson to approve the agenda, all those in favor, please raise your right hand. And the motion passes by all those on the dais. Trustee Boswell, will you please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance and the pledge to the Texas flag?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you. We will now move to public testimony for items on consent agenda. For items on the agenda. Tonight's testimony is a chance for the public to provide comments and feedback on the interim superintendent position. Typically, the public comment process asks that speakers do not reference an individual by name unless that person is the superintendent or board of trustees. This is done to protect possible confidentiality and provide a respectful atmosphere for those who may not realize that they will be referenced during public comment. Recognizing that the trustees and superintendent are considered public figures, we have always allowed and encouraged use of their names. Tonight, we received a large number of calls that referenced individuals who may be interested in the interim superintendent position. In the interest of transparency and clarity for the board and the public, we are making an exception to play those messages with the names unedited. Staff did confirm earlier with those individuals that their names would be played and that they did not have a concern. So members of the public wishing to participate in the public testimony portion of our meeting called the dedicated AISD phone line in advance of the meeting to sign up to speak in person or to audio record their remarks. And tonight we have 4 people signed up to speak in person, and we have 82 individuals who left a recorded message. And as we promised in a previous meeting, we will start with the in-person testimony in order to provide as many opportunities for the input as possible within a limited time period at this meeting. Each speaker will be allotted 1 minute. No substitutions or yielding of time to others is permitted. And then callers who signed up to speak in person are welcome to come to the microphone when their name is called. We will call 3 names at a time. And I'm just going to call all 4 since there's only 4. As you come to the microphone, there's a device that will light up as you move through your 1 minute of allotted time. When the buzzer sounds, please make a final thought in 1 sentence. And again, we ask that whether you come to give a complaint or praise, that you reference the staff member by position or by abbreviated last name, unless referencing a potential interim superintendent, board member, or the superintendent. We ask that all audience members, whether speaking or not, please show respect for others at all times. And if you need this service during other portions of the meeting, please speak with the interpreter. So we'll have some interpretation available for our community. Ms. Jennifer Williams is the Spanish translator and interpreter, and she will repeat portions of this message in Spanish. Is she here? Oh, that wasn't supposed to be on there. We have 4.
For Spanish speakers,
No, I'm sorry. Because we don't have Spanish speakers, that last paragraph, I shouldn't have mentioned that, but we always welcome bilingual speakers to come to our public meetings. So what I'm going to do now is I am going to call up the four individuals in this, or if they come up in this order, and they have 1 minute. Harold Flanoy is first, and then Lisa Flores, and then Aaron Barbier, and then Gregory Harrington.
Good evening, Board. I'm here in support of Dr. Anthony Mays being named the interim superintendent of Austin Independent School District. I'm a lifelong resident of the greater Austin metropolitan area. I'm a product of AISD schools from K through 8. I'm a member of the clergy for over 16 years here in this city. This district is in need of stability, not more unnecessary change. I believe that Dr. Mays, I know that Dr. Mays has the educational experience starting at Houston-Tillotson University, followed by Texas State, and then Tarleton State University to get his doctorate, along with professional experience starting with Pflugerville Independent School District, Dallas Independent School District, Fort Worth Independent School District, and his time spent in Harris County. I feel that we should move forward with supporting Dr. Mays and let him continue to do the good work that he started and that he can continue doing as he finishes it. Thank you.
Thank you. Lisa?
Can I ask a clarification question?
Yes.
When you leave your message on the recorded phone line, it gives you 75 seconds, 15 seconds for an introduction, and then a minute for your message, and I had planned accordingly. So should I just omit my introduction?
I think if you want to omit your introduction, what we try to do is have folks give a minute, and then if the buzzer goes, if you would just finish your thought, and then we allow that to happen.
Okay.
As well.
Hello, President Rodriguez and trustees. My name is Lisa Flores. I'm a parent of 2 students in AISD and a member of the Coalition for Special Education Equity in AISD. I believe it's time to front-load an inclusive mindset into hiring practices for the interim and permanent superintendents. I believe candidates who understand and are committed to progressive reform to special education practices and a plan to achieve reform should be part of the process of choosing a candidate. Inclusion is a belief that disability is a natural part of the human experience and no one needs to earn belonging. Inclusion must be modeled from the top down. Given the historical barriers and current disparate outcomes for students with disabilities, I humbly ask the following. Number 1, each candidate be given equal consideration and interviewed. Number 2, a rubric or matrix of considerations be created and used for all applicants to include specific questions around their knowledge and history with special education best practices, and that it be viewable to the public. Number 3, plan consideration for candidates who understand if, how, and when the district can deliver high-quality portable services to students with disabilities, we can better the needs of all students. AISD past processes have not specifically required specific knowledge and demonstrated results around special education. It would best serve all learners to bake this into the process. Thank you.
Thank you. Aaron?
Good evening, Board of Trustees. My name is Erin Barbier. I'm a parent, community member, District 7 voter, vocal advocate, and former AISD district administrator. I'm here to speak about the selection of an interim superintendent. I am mad about the havoc wreaked upon AISD these past 2 years with little to no meaningful insight taken by the board. Sad that my 2 elementary-aged children will not have the opportunity to learn from talented and dedicated teachers due to resignations exasperated by the practices of the current executive leadership team, including top-down decision-making and disrespect, to name a few. But I am hopeful. I hope you are listening to what this grassroots campaign has brought to light. I hope you realize that it was your job and duty to solicit community feedback, not the job of the stakeholders. And I hope you will keep your promise to be transparent and select someone compassionate, competent, and certified. Now that you know better, please do better for our students, staff, and community at large. Thank you.
Thank you. Barrington.
Thank you for the opportunity to speak. My name is Gregory Harrington. I am the current president of Gamma Eta Lambda chapter of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. And although 2 of us have already spoken, I would like for the 4 of us who are present to please stand and one of which is the previous president, and one is the current, and all of these guys are representative of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated, the same fraternity Dr. Mays is part of. Just in case you were curious of who some of these great giants are, Dr. Martin Luther King, Thurgood Marshall, Heman Sweat, the same as Brother Akins, Brother William Akins at Charles Akins is how we know him. But anyway, I also serve on the Strategic Planning Committee for Pflugerville ISD. I also serve as the president of the Campus Advisory Council of Harmony School of Science. So when I talk about having somebody who's qualified and talented, I have nobody else but Dr. Anthony Mays. I want to fully endorse him as that leader because he is simply in the seat doing a great job right now with such a huge learning loss due to the pandemic. I encourage us to continually keep him in place as the interim superintendent. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much to all four of our in-person speakers. We will now play the recorded messages for public testimony, so trustees, please listen carefully.
Yes, hi, my name is Mary Chisholm. I am a former parent, community member, and taxpayer of AISD. And I'm calling on behalf of AJC and advocating for the district to select a candidate who understands how to create conditions that support the well-being of Austin ISD's children, staff, and community. I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Laura Sao, and I'm a community member in District 4. I'm calling on behalf of Austin Justice Coalition and advocating for a selection process that employs a qualified interim candidate who understands Austin School District and our community's socioeconomic historic context, specifically in relation to BIPOC students and students with disabilities. I believe this interim candidate should actively be educating themselves on the historical context in order to fully understand our current system and how those historical impacts are still in effect today. Thank you.
My name is Sarah Fruin, and I'm calling about the interim superintendent selection. I'm a former AISD student, current AISD parent, and I've been an educator in AISD for 25 years. I've seen many superintendents come and go, usually after making big changes with disproportionate impacts on the students, staff, and families that are left behind when they leave. Word on the street is that the interim has already been chosen without interviews or community feedback. So I'm here to give my input on what should be a careful process with consideration to each of the applicants, not just those that have been announced publicly. I know of 2 men that are in the running, but where are the powerful women that you're considering? We need an interim superintendent that is rooted in our community, has at least 10 to 15 years of organizational knowledge of the AISD, can navigate school finance, understands the ins and outs of HR, centers the student, staff, and families that have been historically marginalized in AISD in all decision making, and who not only has a vision but an actionable plan for educational equity in AISD. We have generations of students, staff, and families that have been begging for change, and it starts with who you choose as the interim superintendent. Thank you.
Bené Jacobs, parents of AISD students, calling for Agenda Item 6, the selection of interim superintendent. As a lifelong resident of Austin, an AISD graduate myself, and a mother of 3 current AISD students, I'm calling to support the application and consideration of Dr. David Kaufman for interim and future superintendent. Dr. Kaufman was my older kid's first principal at Perez Elementary. My son Isaac was enrolled in PPCD, my daughter Alyssa was enrolled in dual language, and even my youngest child, Aisley, pre-enrollment, was able to attend the many family field trips hosted by his campus. His campus leadership and earnest desire for student success, especially for minimalized populations often overlooked, has set the benchmark to which I compare all educators. Dr. Kaufman sees the whole child, their family, and the community in which they live, and leads his staff in ways that foster growth in all of these areas. I wholeheartedly support his application and consideration for this vital role. Dr. David Kaufman lives in Austin, has a proven track record with AISD, and is the best candidate to serve our community. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Emily, and I'm an art teacher here in Austin ISD, and I am calling in to support Dr. Kaufman for interim superintendent. He's been in the district 17 years, so he knows Austin ISD's needs and unique culture. He's bilingual. He actually learned Spanish as an adult when he was placed at a Spanish-speaking school, which I think shows a lot of dedication and service to his community. and he's certified. He is certified to be superintendent, so no waivers would need to be applied for. I know waivers are easily obtained for this situation and for going past the legal class size limit, but I wish Austin ISD wouldn't do that, and I know many others don't. There's also a rumor that there's already a candidate basically chosen who's been here 10 months, not certified. It'd be more of the same, and I hope that the board takes this process seriously and gives equal consideration to all candidates, and in the end chooses Dr. Kaufman.
Good evening. My name is Candace Hunter, and I'm a parent. Item 6.1. I'm aware that it is both within your purview and your prerogative to choose as an interim whom you would like. I ask that you do not choose anyone from the current executive team in order to give the district a chance to heal. No one is asking that any of these individuals be removed from their current leadership position, only that they do not lead the district at this crucial moment. Since 2017, I've watched this board and with my limited knowledge, tried to understand its decisions and voting patterns regarding school closures, a rapid superintendent search, the abdication of some of its authority, and what appears to be a less than forthright hiring process. I'm asking you to slow down, follow district policy, and in its absence, have a fair and transparent process in which you carefully deliberate and make your decision. I am also asking that you share with the community your decision matrix. Thank you for your commitment to the families of Austin Independent School District.
Hello, my name is Kat Schaefer. I am a community member, and I'm calling on behalf of AJC to advocate for the district to select a candidate who understands how to create the conditions that support the well-being of Austin ISD's children, staff, and community. Thank you.
Hi, this is a reference of the agenda item in reference of the interim superintendent. I would like to refer Dr. Anthony Mays as an interim superintendent for the Austin Independent School District. Dr. Mays has been a great job, and as well as continuing to support principals, teachers, students, and the community. We have been able to see the district-wide improvements, which keeps it the same and consistent. The district needs stability at this time, and I really fully believe that Dr. Mays is a part of this change. I know him through our affiliation through Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated, which recognizes his career and education for supporting K through 12 learning. Again, I would like to support Dr. Anthony Mays as the next interim superintendent for Austin Independent School District. This is Brother Frankie Mendoza, a member of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated.
Good day. My name is Aaron Carter. I have the privilege of serving as the pastor of Simpson United Methodist Church, which is in the Austin Independent School District. I'm calling to express my support as a community member for the consideration of Dr. Anthony Mays to serve as the interim superintendent for Austin ISD. Just 3 reasons. 1, his work as chief of schools currently proves his competence, commitment, and care for the district. 2, I believe it will boost the public morale to see the district give a qualified Black man an opportunity to express new ideals at a formidable time. And 3, I have learned that the former ISD superintendent is returning to a district where she formerly served as the chief of schools, which tells me that they saw her leadership skills then for the position that she will soon occupy. Thank you and take care.
This is Sharon Bain. I'm the parent of an AISD high schooler and an AISD graduate calling about agenda item 6.1. I don't have the benefit of all the information trustees are privy to, but I do know what it feels like on the other side of the dais as a parent concerned about the direction this district is going. There's been a lot of discourse this past weekend about the process the board is using to choose an interim. We need to hear more about what that process is, how many candidates you considered, what conversations have already taken place, and what criteria are being used to evaluate the candidates. It feels concerning to see that there could be a vote tonight. Is that procedural and solely to allow the opportunity for public comment? Will the comment you're hearing tonight truly inform the board's decision? Please set the tone now for a shift towards increased transparency and, importantly, a new direction for our district. Thank you.
Dear Austin ISD Board of Trustees, my name is Stephanie Howard, a longtime Austin resident and community member. I am calling in regards to agenda item 6.1, Our students, staff, and community have been through so much change over the past 2 years. What AISD needs over the next 12 months is stability. Therefore, I recommend and fully endorse Dr. Anthony Mays as a highly qualified candidate for the position of interim superintendent within our school district. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Hello, my name is Amber Watts, and I'm a community member calling on behalf of AJC and advocating for the district to engage in a fair and ethical interim superintendent selection process that authentically engages the community, not just pretending to do so at meetings like this one. Thank you.
Dear Austin ISD Board of Trustees, my name is Anna Sterling, a longtime Austin resident, a product of the Austin Independent School District, and the parent of a current AISD student. I'm calling regarding agenda item 6.1. Our students, staff, and community have been through so much change over the past 2 years. What AISD needs over the next 12 months is stability. Therefore, I recommend and fully endorse Dr. Anthony Mays as a highly qualified candidate for the position of interim superintendent for our school district. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Hi, my name is Sarah Stone. I'm calling in regards to the interim superintendent appointment. My relationship to the district is I am a parent. I'm also a parent of a rising eighth grader. I'm also a graduate of Austin ISD. I've lived in Austin for 47 years. I worked for the school district as a social emotional learning specialist for 8 years, and also as a school partner with local nonprofits. I'm calling regarding to the very extremely low belonging scores on the Student Climate Survey. We are in the 0 to 19th percentile for the national. I believe this is direct in relationship to living through COVID, but also some of the decisions that were made that were not focused on connection and mental health and belonging for our students and for our staff and teachers. I'm concerned that with the anti-CRT bills, anti-trans bills, and how COVID has been changing our society, that rushing an appointment of an interim superintendent is not the way to go, that we deeply need more community conversation about this. And I hope that you are able to listen to my concerns and able to review previous and former school employees, particularly women who have.
Hi, this is Janice Bookout, a parent of McCallum High School, on agenda item 6.1. I know that there are some wonderful candidates for the superintendent position, and as an AISD parent and former teacher, I'd like to bring attention to a great resource we have in our chief of schools, Dr. M. He's visited at least one school every day of his tenure to talk to teachers, staff, and students about what they need and want. Despite an ever-changing budgetary constraints and state policies, Dr. Mays has kept students and their success at the center. He has a clear commitment to equity, as demonstrated by his work in standardizing the teacher evaluation process. And he has a clear stated commitment to work collaboratively with the entire education ecosystem to create what's next for AISD, to co-create what's next for AISD, and to create a more positive and inclusive culture within it. Beyond these points, I want to highlight the value Dr. M actually brings through his lived experience as a Black educator and a Black administrator, and as a Houston-Tillotson University alum with deep roots here in Austin. I think that perspective brings its own unique added value that shouldn't be discounted. Thank you so much.
Hi, good morning. This message is for the Austin ISD Board of Trustees. My name is Misty Morgan. I'm a longtime Austin resident, community member, and a proud relative of Austin ISD graduates. I am calling in regards to agenda item 6.1. Our students, staff, and community have been through too much change over these past years, and what Austin ISD needs now over the next 12 months is stability. Therefore, I recommend and fully endorse Dr. Anthony Mays as a highly qualified candidate for the position of interim superintendent within the Austin ISD School District. Thank you so much for your time and consideration. Have a great day.
Good evening. My name is April Clark. I'm a co-chair of the Long Range Planning Facilities Committee and a member of the current Bond Steering Committee. I'm calling in regard to action item 6.1. It is imperative that this district and this board learn from past mistakes. It is critical that we hire an interim superintendent that not only understands the current climate of the district, but also deeply understands the long and recent histories. There should be no misunderstanding that our students need more. They need teachers and they need staff that are cared for and heard. They need better facilities to learn in. We must pass this bond in November. Many of our facilities are aging out and time is not on our side. The right interim superintendent that is trusted internally by staff as well as externally by the community can help regain support in this time of distrust and chaos in the district. I urge you to make this process as public as possible. I urge you to take into account our own recent history of school closures, loss of teachers, the widening learning gap due to COVID, as well as systemic historic racism in this district. It is not enough to continue the course we are on. We must disrupt it and hire a caring individual that can see not only where we are now, but understands how we got here and where we need to go. We need someone that can bring us all back to the table to move forward together. Thank you.
Emily Sawyer, AISD parent. I would like to urge the trustees to select an interim superintendent who has extensive knowledge of and experience with the history of Austin, AISD, and our communities. A superintendent who will look critically at the course that we are on and decide with integrity what isn't working, and then work diligently to find solutions that are in the best interest of AISD students, staff, teachers, and communities. We cannot simply follow a map because it is the one in front of us, if it is not the map that will get us where we want to go. Please slow down the interim decision, consider every applicant, and choose the one that is right for AISD, not the one that feels simple or obvious. Sometimes in order to get to the right thing, we have to dig a little deeper. Thank you.
Hi, as a community member, I am calling to let you know that I support Dr. Anthony Mays as the next interim superintendent. My name is Maggie Rodriguez. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Deepa Chandrasekharan. I'm a parent of 2 kids who currently attend AISD. I am speaking to the selection of the new interim superintendent. I strongly urge the trustees and the board to consider a superintendent certified candidate. Please seek community inputs. I believe that the decision has already been made without public input, and I strongly question that. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Ashley Perryman. I am a parent of an AISD student who's coming from through the out-of-district transfer program. I am calling in relation to the meeting that you're going to have today to determine an interim superintendent. I'm looking for more clarity and information on how you have gone through the interview process with various candidates, what questions you asked, what answers were most compelling for you to determine that this person is qualified or aligned to the new direction of the district. Hopefully there is a new direction for AISD. I would like to hear about what your thoughts are on the results of the climate survey, the budget cuts, in particular to the dual language program, which were thrown into a line item last week. I want to understand what it is that you're thinking in terms of that evaluation process, and get some clarity in relation to all of this, because this will impact my sending my child to AISD, but also all of the voting that will happen in November, in particular for that bond. And so I'm hearing from various community members that this is of great concern, and so I'm calling in to try to prompt you to answer these questions during today's meeting.
My name is Dr. Brenda Burrell. I am an Austin resident and a former employee of the Austin Independent School District. I am calling in regard to agenda item 6.1. I highly recommend Dr. Anthony Mays for the position of interim superintendent. Folks, we've been through enough change. We need some stability in this position, and I believe that Dr. Mays is the person for that. Please confirm Dr. Anthony Mays as interim superintendent. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Lauren Hoffer, and my son receives disability services through AISD.
The services my son has received in the last couple of years have been abysmal. Therapists and educators are leaving the district in droves. The therapists we have no training and have provided very little value add to my son. The parents that we know with the wherewithal who have disabled children are leaving the district in droves. They're buying houses in the Eanes and Dripping Springs school districts as they have not been able to fix the situation with all of the departures from AISD. From my vantage point, AISD has done many wonderful things. We have many programs and have graduated wonderful people, but those with disabilities have not been well served. I asked this board to interview all candidates so that we may find someone who will not continue what has happened in the last couple of years, who will find someone who values progress, particularly in service to those with disabilities. Thank you so much to each of you for your service to our community. And again, I ask that you interview all candidates.
Dear Austin ISD Board of Trustees, my name is April Briscoe, a longtime Austin resident and community member. I am calling in regards to agenda item 6.1. Our students, staff, and community have been through so much change over the past 2 years. What AISD needs over the next 12 months is stability. Therefore, I recommend and fully endorse Dr. Anthony Mays as a highly qualified candidate for the position of interim superintendent within our school district. Thank you for your time and your consideration.
My name is Donna Betts. I have a 7th grade student that is in special education at Covington Middle School. I am talking on for the agenda tonight about the interim superintendent search. So statistically speaking, interims frequently get the long-term assignment. What I'm asking is that all applicants get an interview and that a rubric or a metric be used to score each applicant that the public can see, that the potential candidates demonstrate knowledge and a history of representing students with disabilities through best practices. Our data and the Stetson report shows gaps for all students with disabilities, and we need leadership who will represent in progressive action students with disabilities in AISD, because that is not currently a practically speaking, an administrator who can meet the needs of all students with disabilities is more likely to implement practices that benefit all learners, whether they have disabilities, neurotypical or not. We can have
Dr. Terrence Grant Malone, as it relates to student achievement, change is inevitable, but stability is necessary. I thank all of you trustees, as I am a colleague, a 20-year trustee in higher education, and started my formative years there in Austin ISD as I worked to learn how to stand in the classroom and educate at Blackshear Elementary. Dr. Anthony Mays has done a yeoman's job as it relates to making sure that our students are first and foremost. He was chosen because of his stability. He was also chosen because of his ability to think, create, and approach and improve. I would urge this trustee board to do the right thing for our children. Voices will always be heard from the outside, but the influential voice that we listen to today is...
Hi, my name is Charlotte Blanche. I'm a parent and an advocate, a parent of 3 children in AISD, and an advocate of the district, and I'm calling for the agenda item 6.1, the selection of an interim for the district. And I'm asking you to please listen to the community and the public that are reaching out to the trustees. We've elected you and we put you in place for a reason. We need you to be our voices. We need you to hear us. And we need this not to be another decision that's business as usual, because this district is not doing well. And there's parents like me in this district that need public education, that don't have a lot of alternatives. And my children are hurting. My children are hurting based on lack of leadership and bad decisions in this district right now. And what we need you to do is, as far as this interim process, please, trustees, please show us your work, show us how it was done. If you're hiring from somebody already in the district, please show us the hiring process, show us the questions you asked, show us the candidates. But we're please asking you to be transparent with us. Give us the trust that you want us to have in you. And just listen to our voices and what we need. We need somebody that's going to advocate for all children. We need it not to just be a...
Dear Austin ISD Board of Trustees, my name is Tasha Nixon, a lifelong Austin resident and community member. I am calling in regards to agenda item 6.1. Our student, staff, and community have been through so much over these past 2 years. What AISD needs over the next 12 months is stability. I recommend fully endorse Dr. Anthony Mays as a candidate for the position of interim superintendent with our school district. Thank you for your time and your consideration.
I'm calling on agenda item 6.1. My name is Marie. I have 4 children, 3 school-aged and AISD. I've been in the district for 12 years, and I will be here another 17. I'm asking this board to restore faith and trust in this district. I am asking that you complete a full and fair interim superintendent selection process with interviews and truly considering community input. I'm asking this board may get a requirement that the candidate be certified, and it is important in a diverse district that the candidate be bilingual. Personally, this past year has been the worst year in my history with Austin ISD. Trust is eroded, sped is broken, our kids are suffering, dual language and MET seemingly non-existent. Look at the data, student achievement, climate survey, program cuts, staff retention, all of it says things are not going well. Please pick somebody who will change the direction and move our district forward. The decisions you make today will impact elections in the bond in November. And if you're not running again and won't be here, then I ask you to consider not making decisions for future boards.
Dear Austin ISD Board of Trustees, my name is Erica Knox. I am a longtime Austin resident and community member. I'm calling in regards to agenda item 6.1. Our students, staff, and community have been through so much change over these past 2 years. What AISD needs over these next 12 months is stability. Therefore, I recommend and fully endorse Dr. Anthony Mays, an HT alum, as well as a highly qualified candidate for the position of interim superintendent within our school district. Thank you for your time and your consideration.
Hello, my name is Tanya Matthews. I'm a parent of a going to be 8th grader at Clint Small Middle School, and I'm also a music educator for Austin ISD for now 25 years. My message today is about the interim superintendent appointment, and I would like to say that I really believe this year needs to be a year of healing, and I strongly support Mr. Kaufman, with his years of experience and dedication to Austin ISD, that year of healing can be with him. We want someone like Mr. Kaufman leading our district and supporting our staff and students so that can happen. We do not feel that Mr. Mays can do that for our district because of his lack of experience working in Austin ISD and the relation he has with the former superintendent. Again, we strongly support Mr. Kaufman. Thank you very much.
Dear Austin ISD Board of Trustees, my name is Katrina Perkins, a longtime Austin resident and community member. I'm calling in regards to agenda item 6.1. Our students, staff, and community have been through so much change over the past 2 years. What AISD needs over these next 12 months is stability. Therefore, I recommend fully endorsing Dr. Anthony Mays, and highly qualified candidate for the position of interim superintendent with our school district. Thank you for your time and consideration. Have a good day.
Good evening, Dr. Elizalde and trustees. My name is Megan Vasquez, and I'm a proud APERN at Austin member. I'm calling today about agenda item 6.1, selection of an interim. Last year was a rough year. According to the Austin Chronicle, we saw over 2,100 staff resignations. Next year cannot be an extension of this year. We cannot hold course on this current path. It is not sustainable. Our staff climate panoramic data showed that 16% of our teachers responded favorably about there being an atmosphere of trust and mutual respect within this district. This interim position is an opportunity for change, to do something different that yields different results that hopefully lead to better student outcomes and increase in staff morale and retention. Our community this entire year has been begging for transparency. Can we please have a clear, transparent, and fair process for the hiring of this position? Help build trust back by engaging the community. We want an interim who is committed to AISD and navigating us to a brighter future, whose values mirror our district, who engages our community in open and honest dialogue, who is able to take ownership and accountability with mistakes, and leads with safety, equity, integrity, inclusivity, and empathy as their guide. Please know we are committed to holding our district to a future that is worthy enough for our students, staff, and community. We watch, we remember, and we vote. Thank you for your time.
I'm Angela Pires. I am an ASD parent. Hello, Board of Trustees. I would like to commend you for giving plenty of time to pick a new superintendent. We hopefully will find a person more in tune with the challenge that the district faced than our previous superintendents. As for the interim superintendent, I hope that you choose a person who can immediately show that equity in action is the goal and who can raise the all-time low morale of teachers and staff. I have heard that the options so far are Dr. Mays, which would be more of the same and not in a good way, and David Kaufman, who seems to be well qualified, but who is a white man. As a Latina mom of a black student who receives the special ed service, can you please choose someone who will honor students like my child, who has organizational history beyond Cruz and Elizalde's times, someone who understands HR and understands school finance, who will support students with disabilities? Too many good teachers and school leaders have been pushed out by current leadership, and we need change before it's too late. Thank you for listening.
Good morning. My name is Dr. Jean Montgomery Spencer. I am calling in reference to an agenda item 6.1 on the appointment of an interim superintendent for the Austin Independent School District. I am a longtime resident of Austin, Texas. I have children go through AISD, through middle, elementary, and high school in AISD. I am calling on behalf of making a very strong recommendation for Dr. Anthony Mays as the interim superintendent for the Austin Independent School District. Not only have I been a parent in the district, I have been a principal in AISD, and I often am on contract to work in AISD. I have worked alongside of Dr. Anthony Mays. I know of his professionalism, his commitment, his broad knowledge of schools, the function of schools, the structure of schools, and how they should work for the betterment of students that are entrusted in our care. So I am calling again to support.
My name is Megan Detheridge. I am the parent of 2 elementary school students in AISD. I'm calling about agenda item 6.1, possible action on interim superintendent. And I'm calling to ask that the board does a full, transparent superintendent selection process with interviews and community input. I'd like to ask that the board chooses a bilingual superintendent who's certified as a superintendent, someone with a history working within the district with community engagement and support like David Kaufman, not someone who was a recent appointee by Superintendent Elizalde. Considering how unhappy staff is, as evidenced by the thousands of staff members leaving the district this year, I think that we need a clean break with Dr. Elizalde, and the board needs to rebuild trust with the AISD staff and the community as a whole by being transparent and by considering people like David Kaufman who would be a good fit for our community. Thank you.
Dear Austin ISD Board of Trustees, my name is Tracy Mathis, a long-term Austin resident and community member. I'm calling in regards to the agenda item 6.1. Our students, staff, and community have been through so much change over the past 2 years. What AISD needs over these next 12 months is stability. Therefore, I recommend and fully endorse Dr. Anthony Mays as a highly qualified candidate for the position of interim superintendent within our school district. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Hello, this message is for the Austin ISD Board of Trustees. My name is Sharon Jackson. I am a longtime Austin resident and community member. I'm calling in regards to agenda item 6.1. Our students, staff, and community have been through so much change over the past 2 years. What AISD needs over these next 12 months is stability. Therefore, I recommend and fully endorse Dr. Anthony Mays as a highly qualified candidate for the position of interim superintendent with our school district. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Dear Austin ISD Board of Trustees, my name is Natasha Sterling, a longtime Austin resident and community member. I am calling in regards to agenda item 6.1. Our students, staff, and community have been through so much over these past 2 years. What AISD needs over these next 12 months is stability. Therefore, I recommend and fully endorse Dr. Anthony Mays as a highly qualified candidate for the position of interim superintendent within our school district. Thank you for your time and consideration.
I would like to express my support for Dr. Kaufman as interim superintendent. My name is Christina Sabish. I'm a district employee and parent of 2 high school students. Dr. Hoffman has the right credentials, critical institutional knowledge, and teacher principal community support that is needed for this role. He is a leader in multilingual education. He always focused on quality instruction and marginalized learners, special education, while still enhancing educational opportunities for all. And with the staffing crisis and the loss of teachers and staff, it's very important that we recover and rebuild luring teachers and staff that have left back. And the decision that doesn't incorporate that will not inspire the confidence needed to turn this around. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Kynan Murtaugh, and I'm a proud teacher at Travis ECHS and member of Education Austin. I'm calling regarding the interim superintendent selection process. I consider myself highly invested in the success of this district despite the difficulties we face, and accordingly would like to emphasize that we need a new direction. I want more focus on community input and to take that input into decision making. I would also like to leverage the existing assets we have as a district and a student body to make our district truly excel. Particularly, I would look for expertise in multilingual education as a skill and priority set for interim and eventually superintendent. I'm not aware of who the candidates are for interim, and I would consider that lack of transparency to be an issue as well. But on various community social media pages, I've seen Dr. Kaufman's name and would consider him an excellent choice. Thank you for your time.
Hello, my name is Shelley Carr, a longtime Austin resident and community member. I am calling in regards to agenda item 6.1. Our student, staff, and community has been through so much change over these past 2 years. What AISD needs over these next 12 months is stability. Therefore, I recommend and fully endorse Dr. Anthony May as a highly qualified candidate for the position of interim superintendent within our school district. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Hello, this is Herschel Shelley. I'm calling to endorse Dr. Anthony Mays for the interim position of AISD superintendent. I'm a longtime resident, 50 years in Austin, attended university and graduated, worked over at Houston Tilson, worked at Dell Technologies in Austin, worked at IBM in Austin, and I don't know of another candidate that has his background and good behavioral skills and would make an excellent Austin Independent School District superintendent. Thank you for listening to me, and I hope that you will act accordingly and put his name as a candidate under item number 611. Thank you. Have a good day.
Good morning. My name is Mrs. Alexander, and I'm calling to endorse and fully recommend Dr. Anthony Mays as a highly qualified candidate for the position of interim superintendent within our school district within the Austin Independent area. Thank you and have a great day.
Hi, my name is Megan McLean, and I highly recommend and fully endorse Dr. Anthony Mays because he is a qualified candidate for this position for the interim superintendent within our school district. Thank you.
Hi, this is Mike Sabish. I'm an AISD parent and a spouse to a current employee. I want to express my support for Dr. Kaufman as interim superintendent. I've seen how many of my children's teachers have left and continue to leave, and I've heard from them directly that it is due to the lack of support by the district that continues to keep pushing more demands on teachers, ignoring the continued pandemic challenges, such as record levels of student and teacher absences. Dr. Kaufman has been in many key roles within the district, and his track record of solid leadership can set the foundation for the future. He can inspire the rebuilding by bringing back talent that has left. Fairly or unfairly, the current leadership does not seem to have the backing of the teachers, staff, and community, and that is essential to AISD's health. Thank you very much.
Hello, I'm Dr. Rico Self, a community member, and I'm calling in reference to agenda item interim superintendent. I'm calling in support of Dr. Anthony Mays as the next interim superintendent of the Austin Independent School District. It is my opinion that Dr. Mays' commitment to the district, which I think is evidenced by his dedication and contributions, represents some of the best and brightest initiatives of the Austin Independent School District and a level of competent leadership that could only benefit the district and its constituents. As such, I unequivocally support Dr. Mays' appointment as interim superintendent of the Austin Independent School District.
I'm calling to speak on agenda item 6.1. My name is Margaret Knott. I've been a teacher with Austin ISD for a total of 18 years. I also have 2 nieces enrolled in Austin ISD schools. The current culture in AISD is quite toxic, with top-down decisions creating chaos. Teachers must be trusted as we are professionally trained to understand and meet our students' needs. We will lose even more teachers if we continue to have leaders at Central who do not trust us. Please, at a minimum, choose a candidate who is certified to be a superintendent. The interim superintendent you choose will be crucial to our transition to a brighter future. Please listen to your constituents and let our community values guide the selection of this interim. As a teacher who desperately wants to stay with Austin ISD and desperately wants us to shine again, will you please allow for genuine community engagement and a transparent process? Our students, staff, and community deserve as much. Thank you for your time.
My name is Nicole Fagerberg, and I'm an AISD parent with 2 children in this AISD school. In searching for the interim and permanent superintendent, and this addresses the action item relating to interim superintendent, I would ask for several things. First of all, transparency. Redaction of candidate names and resumes is acceptable, but our criteria and means of evaluation should be totally transparent. Austin ISD has resisted Public Information Act requests in the past and ended up in litigation, which it lost, and wasting taxpayer dollars in that process. Second, I would ask that you hire the best and brightest person for the job and search widely for that. AISD is facing really severe threats. We have issues attracting teachers with our very high housing costs and long commutes. We have constant hemorrhaging of our budgets due to recapture, and our magnet schools, which are known statewide and nationally ranked, have recently had their funding reduced and are struggling. Lastly, please hire someone with great ethics and communication skills. I feel like at times the district leadership has pivoted very quickly on a position without sufficient advance notice, which has sometimes blindsided people. Thank you so much.
Tony Hanson, agenda item, selection of an interim superintendent. I'm calling in support of the Board of Trustees to select Dr. Anthony Mays as the interim superintendent of Austin ISD. I've come to find Dr. Mays to be a competent leader, knowledgeable executive, strategic thinker, as well as engaging and approachable. Dr. Mays will continue to be an asset to the community, this district, as well as the board by providing stable leadership during this time, as well as the time to search for a permanent superintendent. Thank you for the opportunity to speak on behalf to support Dr. Anthony Mays as interim superintendent. Thank you.
Good evening, trustees. My name is Jessica Annisman-Rain, and I am calling to request your support for Dr. David Kaufman to take the lead as interim superintendent for Austin ISD. As a current parent of 2 AISD students, I'm aware of the urgent need for our district to have a leader that knows our students, teachers, and staff. Thank you very much for taking these calls.
Dear Austin ISD Board of Trustees, my name is Aisha Young. I'm a longtime Austin resident and community member. I am calling in regards to agenda item 6.1. Our students, staff, and community have been through so much change over the past 2 years. What Austin ISD needs over the next 12 months is stability. Therefore, I recommend and fully endorse Dr. Anthony Mays as a highly qualified candidate for the position of the interim superintendent within our school district. Thank you for your time and your consideration. Be blessed.
Yes, my name is Alice Garrett, and I am calling to recommend and fully endorse Dr. Anthony Mays as a highly qualified candidate for the position of interim superintendent with the Austin Independent School District. Thanks, and have a great day.
My name is Katie McClure, and I am the parent of 2 Austin ISD students, and I'm also a longtime former educator employee of the district. I'm writing to request your support for Dr. David Kaufman to take the lead as interim superintendent in AISD. Dr. Kaufman is super qualified. He's very highly qualified, as we know. He's also somebody who knows the ins and outs of the district as a longtime employee that is very trustworthy. I believe that he's the right candidate that we need right now to right the ship. I've never seen the district in such a state of low morale and disarray, and we need hope. The employees of the district, the families and students of the district find hope in Dr. Kaufman. He's also known to build successful relationships with people all across the district, and simply put, his rapport with all of our stakeholders is exceptional. Please consider Dr. Kaufman. He's an excellent candidate for AISD superintendent. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Andrea Levine, and I just concluded my 22nd year as an educator in AISD. I'm calling about the selection of the interim superintendent. First of all, I would like to thank the board for allowing public comment and feedback on this selection. And as I implore you to choose someone with a proven record of commitment, dedication, and loyalty to our district. I am putting my support behind David Kaufman as he possesses these qualities, but I would also like for you to consider anyone who shows that they are loyal, dedicated, and committed to this school district. Thank you for your time and service to our district.
Greetings, Austin Independent Board of Trustees. I am calling on behalf of agenda item 6.1. My name is Rashana Adamson, born and raised in Austin, Texas, and a proud graduate of LBJ High School. I'm a parent, I'm a community leader. I have known Dr. Anthony Mays for over 20 years as being an outstanding scholar, graduate of Houston-Tillotson University, a community advocate, a father, a husband, and a friend. I've personally witnessed him being a man of high moral character, integrity, commitment, and perseverance. His dedication to our community and our youth unmatched. Therefore, without hesitation, I highly recommend and fully endorse Dr. Anthony Mays as a highly qualified candidate for the position of the AISD Superintendent. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Dear Austin ISD Board of Trustees, my name is Daphne Octave, a longtime Austin resident and community member. I'm calling in regards to agenda item 6.1. I recommend and fully endorse Dr. Anthony Mays as a highly qualified candidate for the position of interim superintendent within our school district. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Good afternoon. My name is Elisa Hendricks. I grew up attending the Austin area schools, and I have family members who attend the Austin area schools and family members who are staff in your school district. I'm calling to provide testimony to support and endorse Dr. Anthony Mays. Thank you so much for this opportunity. I recommend and fully endorse Dr. Anthony Mays as a highly qualified candidate for the position of interim superintendent within our school district. Thank you so much for this opportunity to communicate this message of support for Dr. Anthony Mays. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Nader Brown. I work with students in AISD and provide scholarship opportunities for students. I fully recommend and endorse Dr. Anthony Mays as a highly qualified candidate for the position of interim superintendent within AISD. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Honore Pryor, and as a member of this community, I believe that Dr. Mays is a well-qualified leader who has made significant improvements to this district. So I recommend and fully endorse Dr. Anthony Mays as a highly qualified candidate for the position of interim superintendent within our school district. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Keith Grave. Calling in reference to the interim superintendent, and this is in support for Dr. Anthony Mays. Just wanted to give my support for Dr. Mays because he's been doing a great job, and we think the school system needs the stability. Instead of the back and forth, the change, he has been operating in that capacity for a moment. So we want to see the continual progression. We see district-wide improvement, and we want to continue that continuity. My affiliation with Dr. Mays is through Alpha Incorporated, and certainly his career has progressed as he's been there in education. So I'd ask that this be used as support for Dr. Mays.
My name is Latanya McVeigh Campbell. I am a graduate of Austin ISD from 2003, and I am calling because I highly recommend and fully endorse Dr. Anthony Mays as a qualified candidate for the position of interim superintendent within our school district. Please select Dr. Anthony Mays.
My name is Lydia Westmore. This item is concerning the selection of interim superintendent. I'm a former AISD teacher of 26 years and a retired principal from Dallas County. I am also a concerned citizen. You are preparing to name an interim superintendent. It is critical to the overall teacher effectiveness, community support, stability, morale, student climate, and student achievement that the interim has a proven record of success. None of these things have been in place in a positive light under the current administration. Austin ISD cannot continue to be an ineffective and underachieving district with high turnover, low morale, and poor student performance. We must have a change in leadership that will bring our students to the level of excellence they can attain, given a quality environment and stable teachers who are respected and treated with dignity. Thank you.
This is Allison Lash, parent of an AISD elementary school student, calling about agenda item 6.1. There's been a lot of discourse this past weekend about the process the board is using to choose an interim superintendent. We need to hear more about what that process is, how many candidates you considered, and what conversations have already taken place, and what criteria is being used to evaluate the candidates. It feels concerning to see that there could be a vote tonight. Is that procedural and solely to allow the opportunity for public comment? Will the public comment you're hearing tonight truly inform the board's decision? Please set the tone now for a shift towards increased transparency and, importantly, a new direction for our district. Thank you.
Hi, this is Mrs. Bird. I'm a longtime Austin resident and community member. I'm calling in regards to agenda item 6.1. Our students, staff, and community have been through so much change over these past 2 years. What Austin ISD needs over these next 12 months is stability. So with that, I recommend and fully endorse Dr. Anthony Mays as a highly qualified candidate for the position of interim superintendent within our school district. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Highly qualified schools. I am Theresa Bates, principal resident. I recommend and fully endorse Dr. Anthony Mays as a highly qualified candidate for the position of interim superintendent within our school district. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Trinessa Sampson. I am the parent of 2 AISD students, and I am recommending and fully endorsing Dr. Anthony Mays as a highly qualified candidate for the position of interim superintendent within our school district, Austin Independent School District. Thank you. Have a great day.
Kendra White, a parent, Austin superintendent. I recommend and fully endorse Dr. Anthony Mays as fully qualified candidate for the position of intern superintendent within our school district. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Stacy Jackson. I'm a former AISD employee where I began my teaching career almost 20 years ago, and I want to confidently say that I recommend and fully endorse Dr. Anthony Mays as a highly qualified candidate for the position of interim superintendent with our school district. Thank you. Bye-bye.
My name is Dr. A.L. Mackey. I'm a longtime Austin resident, a product of the Austin Independent School District and the institutions of higher education in the Austin area. I'm calling in regards to agenda item 6.1. I recommend and fully endorse Dr. Anthony Mays, the current chief of schools, as a highly qualified candidate for the position of interim superintendent in the Austin School District. Having had the opportunity to serve as a friend and mentor to Dr. Mays as he matriculated through his baccalaureate and his advanced degree educational programs, and having served as an advisor to him as he launched his career, I'm confident in his ability to engage in the duties of this position. Further, I ask that you give positive consideration to his candidacy. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Tori Obi-Ponchard. I am a parent and grandmother in Austin Independent School District. I am calling to recommend and fully endorse Dr. Anthony Mays as a highly qualified candidate for the position of interim superintendent within our school district. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
My name is Nicole Adams. I am a resident of Austin, Texas. I worked in the Austin Independent School District for 12 years, and I recommend and fully endorse Dr. Anthony Mays as a highly qualified candidate for the position of interim superintendent with our school district. Thank you.
My name is Andrea Norwood, and I have 3 children in the Austin Independent School District. I recommend and fully endorse Dr. Anthony Mays as a highly qualified candidate for the position of interim superintendent within our school district. My number is Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Jen Krieger. I am a District 3 resident.
former AISD employee, volunteer, and advocate. I am calling to request a transparent and community-led selection process for the interim and permanent superintendent. We have deep healing and hard work to repair the eroded trust and culture of this district. I believe that a truly collaborative vetting process for our next administrative leader would go a long way towards healing and growth. I personally am looking for someone who will make a long-term commitment to the district and our community, whose decision-making process centers students and prioritizes not only equitable outcomes, but also an equitable and inclusive process leading to those decisions, who has a track record of trust, respect, and student success in Austin, and who is open to new ideas and approaches, and who allows sufficient time for any changes to take root before evaluating whether they're working or not. I also respectfully request that any trustees who are not intending to continuing to serve on this board after the November election, please recuse themselves from the decision-making process. Thank you for your time, care, and service.
Hi, my name is James Butler. I was an educator in Austin ISD for 18 years. I'm calling in to speak on the interim superintendent conversation. I never publicly acknowledged this, but I left AISD last year largely because of leadership and the direction our district was going. And I know far too many high-quality educators who left AISD for that same reason. And the ones who are still here are struggling. This is unacceptable. We have a chance to enact meaningful change with this decision. We need leadership that is going to listen to our students, staff, teachers, and families, and not just provide lip service. We don't need another politician in this position using AISD as a stepping stone for the next journey in their career. We need someone who knows AISD, has experience connecting with the community, especially with our families who have been historically and currently marginalized. Our next superintendent should also have experience with school and district finances. I may not be employed by AISD anymore, but I am still a citizen of Austin, about to be a dad for the first time, and I want to send my kids to AISD schools. Please listen to the community and not just the ones who are the loudest. Pay special attention to the community on the margins. The future of our district relies on this decision. Thank you for your time.
Hello, my name is Desiree Hendricks Patterson, and I'm a AISD community supporter. I am calling to fully recommend and endorse Dr. Anthony Mays as a highly qualified candidate for the position of interim superintendent within our school district. Thank you for your consideration. Have a good evening.
Good evening, Board of Trustees. My name is Andrew Gonzalez, and I'm a District 6 resident. I'm also a former employee of AISD. I'm calling this evening to comment on the search for a new superintendent. I urge the board to choose an interim who will lead the district in a new and positive direction, who will listen to the community, students, teachers, and staff, and who will restore the public's faith and confidence in the district. I'm one of the many teachers who resigned over the past 2 years, and I know that my faith and confidence would be greatly restored were Dr. David Kaufman to be given an opportunity to serve as the interim superintendent. I believe that any candidate from the current administration would be inappropriate given the community's lack of trust in the Elizalde regime. Thank you very much for your time. Good evening.
Good evening, Dr. Elizalde and trustees. My name is Karen Hampson, and I'm a proud Education Austin member, teacher at Joslyn Elementary, and parent. I'm calling today in regard to the hiring of the interim superintendent. As Martin Luther King Jr. said, the time is always right to do what is right. Board members, we elected you to represent us, the constituents. Instead, this year, our voices were the ones that have been and continue to be dismissed every second and fourth Thursday. We can't hold course on a path that had resulted in more than 2,100 staff leaving. Please do not name an interim who is just going to be an extension of the current one. This is a chance to make a change for the better. We need someone who values safety, integrity, transparency, and equity, a leader who knows when to listen and when to act, a leader who leads with empathy and care for our community and all its members. The time is now. I nominate Dr. David Kaufman.
Hello. Dear Austin ISD Board of Trustees, this is Anita Dabney, a longtime Austin resident and community member and former parent of a child in the AISD school system. I'm calling in regards to agenda item 6.1. Our students, staff, and community have been through so much change over these past 2 years. What AISD needs over these next 12 months is stability. Therefore, I recommend and fully endorse Dr. Anthony Mays as a highly qualified candidate for the position of interim superintendent within our school district. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Good evening, Dr. Lizalde and Board of Trustees. My name is Lydia Vasquez. I'm an AISD parent. I'm calling about Agenda 6.1, selection of an intern process. You have probably just heard many calls of anxious community members desperate for change, fearful that next year is going to be like the last. Can we please start a new chapter, a chapter where we use transparency to build trust? We can't listen and watch another board meeting where hundreds of community members voice their concerns and opinions to only be discarded because the decision has already been made without any community communication or engagement. Please do better for our sakes. Thank you.
It's Bobby Blakes. I'm a community member calling in regards to superintendent search or interim superintendent decision. Looking at the data, the climate questioning, the climate data is alarming. And you have a student equity council. Please listen to them. Choose wisely around staffing, please. And of course, finance, where you're spending money in the areas that students, families, communities speak to. So finance, HR, very important. The climate is looking scary. Please give those things strong consideration in your choice of an interim superintendent. Thank you.
Dear Austin ISD Board of Trustees, my name is Yvonne Harper, a longtime Austin resident, a product of the Austin Independent School District, and a parent of a student in AISD. I am calling regarding Agenda Item 6.1. Our students, staff, and community have been through so much change over these past 2 years. What AISD needs over these next 12 months is stability. Therefore, I recommend and fully endorse Dr. Anthony Mays as a highly qualified candidate for the position of interim superintendent within our school district. Thank you, and have a blessed day.
Trustees, this concludes public testimony. Are there any questions or clarifications? If there are none, public comments are one way we receive feedback and engage our community. Another way is a reminder to please feel free to share any general comments or questions on non-voting items with the board by email at trustees@austinisd.org. The next item on the agenda is the President's report. So tonight's meeting is an opportunity for the board to continue the selection process of an interim superintendent. In order to share facts regarding transparency, accountability, and making this process as public as possible, I wanted to share the following. On May 15th, Dr. Elizalde formally notified the district and board that she was named the lone finalist for superintendent of Dallas ISD. On May 26th, the board held a special meeting to discuss the superintendent's transition and discuss next steps, including naming an interim. At that meeting, the board made a public statement, which was included in our website, that we were working with Dr. Elizalde on a transition plan and expect to hire an interim superintendent in June to start on July 1, 2022. The board expects the interim to be in place for up to a year, and the new Board of Trustees following the November election will set a timeline and process for the permanent superintendent search. And as we mentioned in our public statement, we hope to start the informal community engagement now. The board also set a process for considering an interim superintendent. We posted a request for interest and job posting and asked interested candidates to submit a letter of interest, resume, and at least 3 references by Monday, June 6. Following the deadline, the board's council prepared a packet of all materials submitted, which was provided to each trustee first thing Tuesday morning. Trustees were asked to review the 107-page packet prior to that coming Thursday's board meeting and be prepared to discuss candidates for additional consideration and the board's next step. As we shared last Thursday, the board discussed the interim candidates during the executive session. The board is able to hold these discussions in executive session due to the exceptions in the Texas Open Meetings Act. And we want to assure the public that this is not about secrecy, but about respecting a process to protect individuals who may apply and expect some level of confidentiality for themselves, their families, their reputation, and their career. The same is true for all levels in the district as we work to maintain the privacy of who applies for any position until and when ready to make an appointment. We recognize and respect that individuals are free to disclose their own submission as they see best. And tonight, the board plans to continue the selection process and discussion on the interim position. And if we determine we are ready to move forward, we will return to the open meeting to take action on an interim superintendent. The board is currently posted for an additional meeting to discuss and consider an interim superintendent tomorrow. If that meeting is needed or if it will be canceled, it will be posted on the district website at austinisd.org/board/superintendent-search tonight. And it will be shared during our meeting after returning from executive session. The public can also find all the latest updates and upcoming meetings on the superintendent transition on that same website. And lastly, the board expects the next interim superintendent to hear all of the community feedback and work with the board and community to address issues consistent with our strategic plan, our mission, our values, and our vision. Thank you for joining us tonight, and we will now recess the open meeting at 6:30 p.m. and move to executive session pursuant to Texas Government Code sections 551.074, 551.072, 551.073, 551.087, 551.076, and 551.071. For purposes of this video meeting, the board will now leave this open meeting, which will remain live online, and convene privately in a separate video meeting. And when we're finished with our executive session, we will reconvene here. And again, we thank you for your patience tonight. And thank you again for being here. Sorry, good morning. We will now reconvene the open meeting at 12:47 a.m. on Tuesday, June 14th. And I will recognize Trustee Foster for a motion.
Good morning. And before I offer a motion, I'd like to offer some previous words, including a note of gratitude to my fellow trustees for challenging and difficult and engaged conversation. And I'll open by saying that my experience outside service to the board includes founding and operating an independent nonprofit corporation, chairing a university academic department, and leading a set of academic units with a small but reasonably sized budget of around $5 million annually. I have a life in education and years in education administration that informs my decision making. Right now in our district, we are working towards approving a balanced budget that serves our students, provides staff raises, and maintains or improves facilities. We are completing redistricting, and of course, a new year is right around the corner with trainings for principals for next year starting in just about 5 weeks. I'm excited for the next board to choose the next long-term superintendent with an open process that begins with engagement now, but begins in earnest with a new board that will come in after November. With regards to the selection of an interim superintendent, for my part, I read all applications with an eye to 3 areas: knowledge of the breadth and depth of the specifics of issues in our district in this moment, multilingual programming, special ed improvements, industry certifications, receipt of associate degrees among our students, student enrollment, etc. Secondly, an understanding of specific things the district has been doing well, including the relentless collection of data, production of analyses, then development and implementation of plans of action. Third, an understanding of the urgent, immediate, powerful need for a pivot and embrace of the building of relationships among our teachers, staff, families, and our entire community. I understand, and we understand, that the best plans will go nowhere without collaborative ownership. After reading all applications and mindful of the fact that we need an interim in place in about 2 weeks, and at around the same time, we need to approve a budget, we need to complete redistricting, and we need the work to carry on. In this context, my choice became clear: choose now, choose wisely, choose well. In his application, Dr. Anthony Mays spoke of the necessity to, quote, approach the superintendent role in a collaborative manner, and to provide as many opportunities as possible for co-creation and co-development, while mindful that as interim superintendent, he is ultimately responsible and accountable. He also spoke to, quote, a primary responsibility to address teacher and staff morale and to rebuild relationships with all team members. I am happy to support Dr. Mays. And I expect the continued attention to instructional, programmatic, and school-level improvement, along with a renewed, vigorous focus on collaborative work, collaborative decision-making, and rebuilding of relationships. I expect a both and. In that context, Mr. President, I move to appoint Dr. Anthony Mays as interim superintendent effective July 1st, 2022, and contingent upon successful negotiation of an interim superintendent's contract. I further move to authorize the board president to execute a contract with Dr. Mays. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Foster. Trustee Zapata, is there a second?
I second.
Thank you. Having a motion, I'm sorry, is there any discussion?
Yes.
Trustee Lugo.
Thank you. So I appreciate that motion, and just wanted to share a quick statement of my own. So when I walked into the executive session today, I was going to say tonight, but earlier, I didn't know what exactly to expect. Among the many things deliberated, I personally wrestled with how far and how often should executive leadership swing. How far, how often should the pendulum swing? And what is gained and what is lost when the swing is too far or too often? And what I came up with was, I do not want to see a big pendulum swing. The summative, existential, and operational costs are too great. I want to see the district get its footing after pandemic and non-pandemic disruption and turbulence. I also wrestled with whether I believe and see the capacity of the candidate to reflect deeply, to retain what's working and adjust what's not. And what I've come to is that in order to see our district get its footing, in order for our district to be more prepared than not for the expected and unexpected challenges we're facing, the responsibility of doing so is not just on the interim superintendent's shoulders. It is a weight that must be shared, a shared obligation among the board, the interim, all of us, because it is. We are a board that looks more like our student body than at any time in the history of our school board. And we do share more values than not when it comes to AISD. So as I prepare to vote, know that my vote is grounded in two things. my optimism that people can learn from their mistakes, and that tonight I was convinced that collectively we will provide the governance and support necessary to see that not only the interim superintendent be successful in retaining what's working and adjusting what is in need of repair and healing, but to also ensure that the success of our students remains central.
Thank you, Trustee Lugo. Trustees, Trustee Boswell and Trustee Anderson.
I will be abstaining from the vote in support of Dr. Mays tonight, but I do so with great hope that he will lead in ways that bring our district into stronger alignment with our adopted priorities and values, including our commitments to valuing meaningful engagement, creating a culture of respect, and engaging employees and inviting their collaboration. As the board has worked together to choose an interim superintendent, I have heard Dr. Mays express a commitment to leadership that finds power in collaboration, sees strength in engagement, and invests in work to rebuild morale with the educators who serve our students. I'm fully prepared to work collaboratively with Dr. Mays in this new role, to honor the decision of my colleagues on this board, and to do all I can to support the success of our students and district by supporting the success of Dr. Mays. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Anderson, and then Trustee Singh.
My only comment is, as I've always stated, leading with mental health and bringing everyone along on the journey. Clear communication, transparency, and, I am here for support, and I also will hold you accountable, which we've already had that conversation some time ago, but my vote is 110% support, period.
Thank you, Trustee Anderson. Trustee Singh?
So I just want to say that I really do appreciate our board and the conversation that we had. And I do also feel some level of optimism and hope going forward. I will respect the vote and the decision of this board. I'm going to abstain, but it's not because I don't believe Dr. Mays can do it. I am abstaining because I really am I'm going to see how all of this plays out. And I will say, though, that I am very hopeful, especially because Dr. Mays brings something unique. He is a Houston Tillotson grad, which I really appreciate. He's an AISD dad, a former principal, and he is someone who I believe truly believes every child can learn at high levels, and that is extremely important to all of us. And I do hope that, and I believe he will be open to have some real honest conversations about some of the very real challenges in our district. So I do want to thank him. I want to thank others who applied for this position. And just know that how I vote tonight is a lot more difficult vote and decision than I thought it was going to be. And I do look forward to moving forward and keeping our students and our faculty and our staff and the work that they do to support our students at the forefront. So thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Singh. Trustee Wagner?
I am very pleased to be able to support the appointment of Dr. Mays as the interim superintendent of Austin ISD. I've seen in Dr. Mays a leader who is both driven and solutions oriented, who is committed to every student in this district. But at the same time, I see an individual who has demonstrated humility, care, and hubris in his work. And I think the relational work that I have seen you embark on in your time here will serve our district well as we continue to move forward as a stronger, more aligned, and more connected district. I also want to make note of the historic moment that stands in front of us as we welcome Dr. Mays as the first African-American male superintendent of the Austin Independent School District in its history. And that's worth making note of.
Trustees, any other comments? I know, I think I'm gonna wait till after the motion is over and recognize Trustee Boswell with the Board of Trustees statement that I think encapsulates what we're all thinking and supporting, and look forward to co-creating the district with you. Dr. Mays. So any other comments, trustees? If not, Trustee Zapata.
I just want to say thank you to all of my colleagues here, because we had a long conversation, and it was an opportunity to really put everything on the table on how we're going to move forward, and we all understand that we're not always going to agree on the same. And we're okay with agreeing to disagree, and so I think this is also a time for us to begin on a new journey with Dr. Mays. I am 100% in support of Dr. Mays, and I think that together tonight we have demonstrated that regardless of disagreements, we are a team, and I look forward to working with each and every one of you as we journey in this new chapter. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Zapata. We did have a vigorous discussion. In fact, we promised that we would adjourn the meeting by 2 o'clock in the morning, and I think we're headed that way. I have a motion on the floor from Trustee Foster with a second from Trustee Zapata. All those in favor, please raise your right hand. All those opposed? All those abstaining? So the motion passes 7-4-0 against, and showing Trustee Boswell and Trustee Singh abstaining from that vote. So congratulations, Dr. Mays. Before we hear from you and invite you to say a few words, I'd like to recognize Trustee Boswell to read a statement from the collective Austin ISD Board of Trustees.
Thank you, President Rodriguez. As a board of 9 individual trustees, we recognize the need to focus on 2 interrelated goals: supporting academic excellence for every Austin ISD student, and supporting and modeling a work environment addressing issues of morale, retention, and the climate and culture of our district. There are many issues facing our schools, some specific to Austin ISD and some reflecting wider challenges in education. Our budget is tight, and we are looking ahead to an important budget vote later this month. Learning gaps from the COVID-19 pandemic linger even as we have returned to in-person learning, and our academic outcomes must remain a focus. The data shows we are serving some students well and failing to serve other students, and we must break patterns aligned by race and economic status. We are working to improve the experience of Austin ISD for students who receive special education services. We know students and staff are facing mental health challenges, and our schools play a role in addressing their needs. We are also looking ahead to a potential bond election and to opening a new Northeast Middle School, both requiring important work that is still to be done. As part of the process of selecting an interim superintendent, we as a board identified a set of shared priorities. We reviewed all applications for interim superintendent, interviewed one candidate, and tonight we selected Dr. Anthony Mays. We enter this moment with new strengths. Our district and community is talking about disaggregated data that offers a clear picture of who we are serving well and who we must serve better. Austin ISD has a diverse and committed mix of community partners who are deeply invested in the success of our students and our schools. We will soon begin a long-awaited equity assessment. Important work is being done to address disparities in discipline. We are working in new ways to live into our promise to prepare students for college, career, and life. Classrooms across the district are filled with love and learning. Austin ISD students have a rich mix of options, unmatched anywhere in Central Texas. And we have a community that is deeply committed to our schools, to our district, and to every student we serve. After the interim superintendent is hired, the board and community will prepare for the deep work of identifying the next permanent superintendent. We hope to begin the informal community engagement now, post a request for proposals for a superintendent search firm in January 2023, and select and hire our next superintendent by summer 2023. There is much to celebrate in our schools, and there is much possibility and promise we have not yet achieved in our schools. As we begin collaboratively working with Dr. Mays and look ahead to the search for a new superintendent, we ask you to continue to work with us to co-create a district whose vision meets our reality, consistent with our strategic plan, mission, and values. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Boswell. As I asked Dr. Mays to share a few words, I do want to just note a meeting change. We will be canceling the posted Tuesday, June 14th meeting, and will be removed from the calendar. So I just wanted to make sure Dr. Mays' words are the last ones we hear before we adjourn. So, Dr. Mays.
So again, I would say, Dr. Elizalde, thank you for your work. Thank you for giving us a foundation to be able to build from. We appreciate you. I also want to take a point of personal privilege to thank those HT Rams that are still up and online tonight. And like you said, it is a historical moment. And so, man. Thank you. So I want to make sure I thank our community members that have been supporting us in this work. I know that this work isn't easy. And one of the things that I would acknowledge is that it takes all of us to do this work. And so I thank the board for your faith in me tonight. Apologies for the emotion. But there's lots of great things to celebrate here in Austin ISD. And so I look forward to doing that work with you all. High expectations for all children, high outcomes for all students is something that is near and dear to my heart. I got to Austin by accident. I got to Austin with very little college knowledge, and now I sit before you as the interim superintendent, first black male in Austin ISD. And so I'm thankful. I look forward to supporting academic excellence and an excellent work environment for our faculty and staff here in the 22-23 school year. So again, thank you all for your faith in me. Thank you to those Houston-Tilson Rams. I appreciate you all.
Thank you, Dr. Mays. Congratulations again. Trustee Boswell, do I have a motion to adjourn the meeting? Is there a second?
Second.
Having a motion by Trustee Boswell and a second by Trustee Anderson to adjourn, all those in favor, please raise your right hand. And the motion passes by all those on the dais. This meeting is now adjourned at 1:08 a.m. Thank you.